I think if we move on now to Susie Wolff, that's one of our big topics for
Yeah,
today.
I was really, really shocked when I saw the news, everything everywhere on Instagram and everywhere on the internet, and I was just thinking, what the heck is happening? Like,
Mm.
sh I don't know. I haven't seen so much of what it was really about.
Yeah,
Like, she was, I don't know, I
I mean,
don't know what it was about.
I don't blame you. It was a mess in itself of like, I don't even think the FIA fully knew what they were accusing her of. I mean, the basis of it was that it was a conflict of interest like investigation. So obviously being married to Toto and her position, she's doing F1 Academy. She's got access to information from the FIA about things that Toto wouldn't be able to know about or shouldn't know about. And the allegations really were saying that she was passing on information to him and questioning her integrity, which was
Okay.
one of the things actually Susie said herself, that it was doubting her integrity. I mean, she said that it was uh, like rooted in misogynistic behavior, so I think, and intimidatory behavior as well. So I definitely think that obviously the backlash that the FIA got from it was deserved in that situation, because I mean, you saw the basis of it. Every single team said that no one put the complaint forward. So either someone is lying about putting a complaint forwards, or the FIA have just come up with that out of nowhere and pulled this complaint out of thin air. So it's definitely questioning her in a way that she shouldn't have been questioned.
Yeah, I really agree with that because it came really from nowhere,
Mm.
like no hint of anything anywhere, and just came like a,
Yeah.
was a big thing for nothing. And I really think she's right to say that it was a misogynistic attack
Mm.
towards her because that really is.
Yeah. It's not like either that Toto Wolff was showing any signs of having information, and that they thought might have come from her. There was nothing. Like, he's not had any information that he's been seen in the public knowing that he shouldn't. And I mean, just because they're married and just because she has access to that information does not mean that she's going to break all of these and violate all of the trust and pass the information over. So just to question that in itself was awful. Yeah, I mean, as well, the fact that after all of the other teams said that they had no part in the complaint and stood up for the F1 Academy and obviously Susie herself, it was then that the FIA just suddenly went, "Oh, nothing was wrong. They were perfectly fine. Like, we're dropping the whole investigation." Like, it seemed a bit odd that
Yeah, why start the investigation on the first point if
Hmm,
there is nothing wrong? I mean,
exactly. I mean, they cleared that up pretty quickly. So
yeah.
it just feels like they were trying to make an attack of some sort on Susie. For what reason, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what she's done that could
No.
have warranted that.
Yeah, because like yeah, like you said, Toto didn't give any sign that he
Mm.
knew something, and yeah,
Yeah, and
they,
then they said as well that what was it? The obviously leader, the FIA head, had nothing to do with it, and then because he was elsewhere at the time, and then he was flying out to the award ceremony, and
mm,
obviously the award ceremony, they'd said there was no investigation, everyone thought it was going to die down, and then obviously Hamilton came along, and thankfully he said something about it there and
yeah,
used the platform for good, because he obviously said that it was disappointing and that he was upset that obviously the FIA had sought to question the integrity of one of the most incredible female leaders we've ever had in the sport. And that itself, I think, sums up the whole situation, because she is one of the most incredible, like, women in the sport. She has done so much for the F1 Academy and bringing girls into most sports. And then they decide that they're going to question the integrity of the person running all of that, which honestly, if it had been taken the wrong way or if it was blown out proportion, really could have affected all of the women and
Yeah.
girls that are moving into motorsport and how that they go on and restricted really their chances as well.
I think even investigating on Susie was investigating on every woman in motorsport, and it was really right for Lewis to say something
Mm.
because he obviously faced really a lot of criticism, and on his part, it was great to say something on the behalf of every woman in motorsport. And yeah,
Mm.
it was really important to talk about it, not let it just die.
Yeah. And I think as much as obviously it's nice to see Hamilton defending everything in that situation, one of the things I did notice when doing my research about the whole situation was that, and this is nothing to do with Hamilton or Toto themselves, but all of the articles, the first article that popped up when I searched Susie Wolff was Hamilton defends Susie, and it's like it's put, they always seem to put the articles, the media, the mail first. I mean, to be fair
Mm.
to that article as well, when they were talking about the situation, they did refer to it as Susie, leader of the F1 Academy, like head of F1 Academy, and her husband Toto. So they did put her first when captioning a picture, but still, it was about Hamilton defending. And I think as well, a lot of the articles are the investigation into Toto and Susie, when Susie was really the one under the firing line, and he was always the first to appear in the article, the first to be talked about. And it just seems like the media really play into that as well.
Yeah, I really agree with what you say because, like, it was just the men defending the women again, and it felt like the women are not capable of defending themselves, and Susie did it really well. She defended herself really well, and yes, Hamilton helped, Toto helped in his way too, but the more important thing here is that she did nothing wrong
Hmm.
and she defended herself and she defended all the women in motorsport. And I think that's the most important thing here.
Yeah, definitely. I really would have loved to have seen more articles about her saying, like her statement that she gave, which was an incredible statement talking about all the work she's done, the incredible importance of F1 Academy, and how obviously she was being targeted. And I think that that was something that we didn't see enough of when actually looking back at the situation itself.
Yeah, I really agree with that.
But no, I think that was really the start of the winter break drama. That was, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, that was the thing. When I think about it, I don't really remember if it happened during the winter, during the season. I just know it happened, and it was so important that I can't think of anything else. You know, it's
Mm.
so important, and it's so I I don't know how to say it, but like not dramatic, but
Yeah.
that it happened, and I don't know how in our current world that can happen again and again and again. That
Mm.
just
No, it was a horrible thing. I mean, the thing is it was such a big thing for only lasting 3 days as well. Like I know we've said it, it was over quickly and they made a big deal out of it, but 3 days when you look at it and just think 3 days, like it didn't seem like it.
yeah, 3 days could have ended a whole career just
Mm.
in 3 days because people could have not seen the article saying that the FYA just dropped the investigation and just thought that yeah she gave informations even though it's not true.
Mm.
People can just stay on what they thought first and end all of her career and all her achievements on women in motorsport.
Mm. I think especially with how some people comment on generally moving away from Susie on her own, but like women in motorsports, is that whenever you see it, a lot of the F1 Academy girls and talking about them getting their sponsorships with teams and driving for teams now, which is a lovely thing to see that each team obviously has their sort of junior drivers into F1 Academy. But a lot of the comments in videos and things like that are all, oh, this is just like a diversity thing. You're just pushing like it's being forced. They don't deserve to be like, and it's horrible things that are said just because a woman can race. And it's like this sport has been around for so many years, and this isn't the first time that women are seen in motorsport. I mean, we've had two women race in F1 before, not for the last almost 50 years now.
Yeah,
I think,
almost.
yeah, wow. And
Yeah.
so, okay, it's been a long time, but it's clear that they've proved themselves. They've qualified, they've made themselves one with the sport, and they've competed before. So why are we now so caught up over it? It feels like we're sort of going backwards in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, if they are here, I mean that they deserves it, and so I don't know why people keep telling that they don't deserve it. It's just the same way of driving for male and female, and that's it. There is
Mm.
no question.
No, I agree. It's there's a lot to go into with sort of bringing women into motorsport, especially with the sponsor side of things as well, and getting financial support. It's just it feels like as well that everything, as you said, everything that she's sort of been fighting for, Susie, with bringing women into motorsport. And really, you've seen the support with a few other drivers, which is another thing that annoyed me recently with the FIA's stance on things, with the fact that they are trying to limit drivers from making political statements. And obviously, we've seen Hamilton, he does his support for LGBTQ plus people. He's got his obviously Black Lives Matter support as well, which all of the drivers stood with. But also Sebastian Vettel, when he was racing, was massive for getting women into motorsports, and Lewis has shown his support as well by turning up to F1 Academy days and sort of meeting the girls that drive. And I think that it's so important, like even the drivers themselves are supporting and nurturing this F1 Academy to try and make sure that it succeeds. And it just feels like sometimes there are some people that are against it. And with the FIA not only bringing an investigation against Susie, who's the head of it, but also trying to limit drivers from making the political statements that have really encouraged women to get into motorsport, it feels like it's almost an attack on the whole F1 Academy in general.
Yeah, clearly, I don't have anything more to add to what you just said because it's just so true. That's just what I think too. And yeah, I don't understand how we are still doing this in our modern days. Like
Mm,
people can talk and
yeah,
they need to have the right to talk and to express themselves. And it's so important.
yeah. No, I mean, it's just a ridiculous situation in itself, and I'm glad that it got sorted quickly and it was shut down.
Yeah, I'm glad too because like I said, it was only 3 days, but it felt like an eternity.
Mm,
Like watching her being I won't say harassed, but by the people on the internet. I
mm,
maybe I can say I can say harassed because there was so many bad comments on her.
mm.
Not only the FYA. I mean, every comment from
Yeah.
mostly male on the internet. Uh, that was just awful and an attack to, like we said, every woman here in
Mm,
motorsport. And
yeah. At the same time, though, I'm so glad to see how much support there was for her on the other side of it. Like how many people stood up, and the not only the teams, I know we've talked about that, but also just general um, people like the women in motorsports, but also the public. Like a lot of people were standing up for her and talking about how disgusting the situation was to have even occurred. So I'm glad to have seen that was there as well.
yeah, I mean, it proves that change can happen in these sports dominated by men. I mean, seeing the public speaking for her, it was really important. And I think for the future, it's really important too.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's covered everything on that one, though.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, I could talk for hours and hours about women in motorsport, but I think that's enough.